Now, the first thing we need to understand about the zero turn mower is the mechanics of the zero turn mower. You see, there are two transmissions, and many times there are two mowers, like in the case of this electric. Once we have a grasp of the mechanics, then it makes things a lot easier. You see, when we move this lever backwards, it's going to turn this transmission in reverse. And the same thing with forward. So if we have both levers going backwards, the transmission is going to send us backwards because both wheels are turning backwards. That's why you can turn on a dime, because if one lever is going backwards, one lever is going forwards, you can actually sit and spin on this axis. Now, of course, driving is different because you don't have a steering wheel. You have these two levers. So that's the first thing we need to know. And the second thing is, these are spring loaded. They snap back in position. You're constantly having to jog to the right or the left while steering. And just like you learn to drive making micro adjustments on the steering wheel, you have to make micro adjustments with the zero turn levers. And just like it is on the steering wheel, the more you drive a zero turn mower, these micro adjustments move from the conscious to the subconscious, so you're just tooling along. This mower has two cup holders. I don't know why, because you have to keep your hands on both levers at the same time in order to go in the direction you want to head. So while it's great to have the storage on both sides and these cup holders, I really don't see me accessing it until I come to a full and complete stop. These wheels have some serious torque, so avoid burnouts. Also, what I try to do is I make my cut around the whole perimeter of the lawn, so I'm not making my turn on the driveway. A lot of times you'll leave black marks or grass stains on your concrete driveway, so keep that in mind. Another thing I want you to know is you can actually do an alignment on the zero turn mowers by adjusting the levers. See, the levers have some play in it, so you can actually loosen and tighten after you do an adjustment. So how does that play out? Well, what you need to do is get on a straight, flat, level surface and put both levers forward. You may see that they actually pull to the right or pull to the left. What you can then do is you can back off one or both levers and adjust accordingly. Tighten them both up and then push both levers forward once again and see whether you're in alignment. This way, when you're on the grass, you can actually push forward at full speed and go in a straight line. Conceivably, you may be able to go in a straight line, but like I said previously, there's always micro adjustments. So there's going to be divots, bumps, or even the grade of your lawn that's going to take you in a different direction. So you're constantly going to have to be adjusting. And there is a serious learning curve getting used to these micro adjustments. So another thing that made driving a challenge is getting used to the large shopping cart spinning wheels on the front of the mower, because they're going to spin as you're backing up or as you're going forward. They're going to may tend to take you in a different direction for that split second. But the more you practice, the better you'll get at it, so that in no time you'll be making these really close cuts either to the side of the house or around beds, or in this case, the septic field. Like I said, these zero turns have a serious torque on them. So what you can really do is you can tear up a lawn pretty easily by doing these hairpin turns at the end of every row. So what I do is a 3-step T-turn at the end of every row before I head back the other direction. It makes it a lot easier on the lawn than if I had just come to the end of the lawn and spun it around. If I do it that way, the treads are going to really turn up that young lawn. Now, another thing to keep in mind is gas versus electric. This is an electric one. It runs quieter and cleaner and doesn't disturb the neighbors as much. You see, this is all you hear. A whoosh of air is the blade spinning. Whereas with a gas-powered mower, you're going to be hearing the sound of the engine. With the gas-powered mower, you have the convenience of just refilling. Whereas with the electric, I have to recharge in between cuts. So if I want to go from lawn to lawn to lawn, or if I want to store it and leave it unplugged in between cuts, I'm going to have to deal with that. Now, another tip is control your speed. If you're going wide open and you're heading in the wrong direction, you're going to get there a lot quicker. So, go slow and control your speed until you get used to steering the zero turn mower. Another tip is always steer with your cutting deck in mind. I do this for a reason because a lot of times the cutting deck extends out past the wheels or out past the mower. So as a result, you can be bouncing along, bouncing off the house, bouncing off trees with your cutting deck and be really damaging it, either your cutting deck or your lawn. Now it's a lot easier to go in reverse with zero turn mowers. See, with my traditional John Deere mower, all I have to do is put it in reverse and step on the bypass to let me go in reverse. That's a little safety that I have to depress to consciously look behind me. With the zero turn, it's so much easier to go in reverse. Always be aware of where the little ones are, especially if you've got little ones who are following around dad or mom while they're cutting the grass. Don't be afraid to get out there and get some practice. You don't even have to have the blade spinning. You could just get out there and practice driving. Now, having the zero turn mower has made my Saturday morning lawn care quicker and easier. To see another video on another piece of equipment has made my lawn care quick and easy, click the image on your screen now. I'll see you in the next video.